some people asking, are shoes bad for you? The 19th Jessica Arp spoke with athletes leaving the shoes behind to run barefoot, Jess.
Well, doesn't it sound crazy? What about rocks or glass or cold Wisconsin winters? But some runners say it's changing the way their bodies are moving from the ground up.
So how's your running going, Ted, and those things?
Runners are used to judging their mile times, marathon finishes, even the best gear to hit the road in. But these runners will tell you, don't judge a foot by its cover.
You know what it feels like? It's like when you take your shoes off after a long day of work.
These runners are barefoot, save for a simple shoe that protects from the elements. It's just the foot and the ground. A running conversation no shoe engineer saw coming.
And the first time I got them, I went for a couple miles, and I thought the next day, what did I do? I couldn't walk.
Despite those first aches and pains, barefoot runner Rolando Cruz slowed down before working his way up in mileage.
The thing here is that you have to be very careful. You have to slow down. This is not something that you can just put on and go and do a 10-mile run. It's just not going to work.
He says the adjustments and change to his form are making a big difference. Which is why UW sports medicine physical therapist Brian Heiderscheit is trying to mimic the barefoot form in regular shoes.
At this point, all we can say is that when you run barefoot, you run slightly different than you do if you're wearing shoes. We don't know if it's better or if it's worse at this point. When people do run barefoot, there are certain aspects of how they run that could be advantageous in their performance.
Heiderscheit's study has to do with how a runner's foot hits the ground. Hitting the heel in shoes increases impact on the knee. Barefoot runners hit more on the front of their foot, which is exactly what runner Tony Leish needs to do.
I had been getting the pain at about 6 to 9 miles, and then I just did 20 and I was fine.
Leish is better because she shortened her stride, which is what barefoot running forces you to do.
Right now she's right on at 176 steps per minute, which is exactly what we had kind of asked for her weeks ago when we began.
Heiderscheit's study is showing that concept can help all runners, taking up to 30% of the impact off the knees, leading Leish to cautious interest in running without shoes.
Sure, I tried. Sure. I had something to protect my feet.
Protection is literally where the rubber hits the road.
I think a lot of people definitely are intrigued by what's going on, and then I'm happy to tell them because, you know, I think that it's definitely strengthening my feet and helping me out.
They feel great.
Cruz, who recently ran the Boston Marathon in his barefoot runner, says don't knock it till you try it. In other words, don't judge the runner until you've run a mile without shoes.
For me, it was very humbling because it was my body. It was nothing else. It was just my body telling me, this is where you're supposed to land, and this is how it's going to go. And so when you finish it, there's no saying, well, that shoe was great. It was like, I did awesome.
Now here you can see the difference between the barefoot runners and regular shoes. You can see, even though they look like shoes, they're really not much of anything, just a little bit of rubber to sort of protect the bottom of your feet. This is one of a few different kinds of low support shoes basically that you can run in like this, versus like a hard main, running shoe. But the bottom line from both those who've run barefoot or the sports medicine experts is that if you are going to try these barefoot runners, you have to do it very slowly. Walk around your house barefoot regularly. Wear the barefoot runners out for a walk, maybe with your dog first. But it could take up to 6 weeks before you could comfortably run a mile in the shoes. But doctors say that there's no proof that these barefoot runners or the way you run in them to really prevent injuries completely.
Okay, so are the clinics seeing, more injuries from people as more people are running in those things barefoot?
Well, anecdotally, they say that they are, and that's because people are doing too much too fast or simply not being in shape enough to even try barefoot running. Sports medicine experts say there is a lot more research to be done to explore the effects of wearing these shoes, but by the numbers of people that are trying it out, they might have a lot of people to look at.
You wore them around today. Pretty comfortable?
I did. You know what? They are pretty comfortable. It does feel like you're walking around barefoot most of the time. The only thing I noticed was that forefoot, you get a little bit sore. Or if you try to run around, I tried to run up and down my block at home just to try it out. You do get kind of calf sore, but
you got to get used to them.
You definitely got to get used to them. Yeah, they can run about $65, $75.
Same as shoes.
So, yep, just like running shoes.
Interesting,
so, yeah.
Jess. Thank you very much.